I've noticed one of the things you described of having documents in parallel has become really popular as an interface approach for tablets and phones because of multi-touch and swiping. Have you tried building this explicitly for multi-touch because it would make it more intuitive to swipe between things that are parallel to each other?
First, you get the basic software running, then you add the interface. So, and multi-touch would be the last thing to put on, but obviously thinking those terms from the beginning is important.
Yeah, actually, is it really difficult to hear a lot of these questions that people are asking in the field?
I should repeat, I'm sorry.
Yeah, would you?
I have a question. You said it's something you want to grow over time, and I'm thinking about the UI of how to do that. And my brain switched to, I read an article or a blog, and I realized I read a completely unrelated blog that talks about the same topic, something where I highlight one, highlight the other, the sentence that are dissimilar in the two unrelated blogs, link them, and if you had people at Wikipedia level doing all of that across it, I kind of see it growing and growing and growing, where this has kind of happened. I've noticed a couple of people talking about the space that I'm interested in, and they're unrelated, and there's no sync between them at all. I just want to highlight a sentence, highlight another sentence, click link. And I think that would be a way to make it troll across the whole wide web. Do you think that could actually work from a UI level of implementing your idea?
Welcome to Xanadu. Yes, this is obviously the idea. Be able to link documents of every kind and not be, regardless of format, so that, and also to be able to quote, but that's another issue because of the copyright problem, and be able to quote in massive amounts, not just so-called fair use. So all of these are issues that we propose solutions for.
Okay, did I see someone at the top? No. Who has the hand raised?
Thank you for this question. No, I assumed from the beginning that copyright would have to be part of this. I had my own copyright certificates from college. So, and I knew people who lived by their writings. So the whole point was this, and the law was not going to go away easily, and now it's much worse. So we have a proposed copyright doctrine, which has been unanimously ignored by the legal community because only Xanadu will implement it. The idea is this. The permission is, I hereby give permission to anybody to transclude content, which means that you're putting in the list of contents to be unified in your document, you're listing the contents you'd like brought in. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Now, if the originator has put trans-copyright permission on it, they then say, yes, you can take anything and put it in some other document only if you're fulfilling an EDL, bringing in something which was listed. And if there's if there's a payment on that, a micropayment, you can't get it from that guy's server unless you pay for it. So this is extremely fair. It means that every user would pay for every portion that is downloaded, but that anyone would be able freely to incorporate any content without requesting it, provided that we're talking about rights holders who have given trans-copyright permission.
So what happens if I fork the client and comment everything out that's regarding to copyright?
I don't understand.
Like if I just write a client that ignores the whole copyright aspect,
It doesn't matter. You're asking for something from their server. The server says, payment please. What does your client do? Transclude permission is on it. Now, if the content is free, it's a done deal. Some people think I'm against free content. Not at all. I'm just trying to make an even playing field for those rights holders. The mic is off. I'll talk a little louder. An even playing field for those rights holders. Those rights holders, thank you, who need payments, such as, for example, the university presses who are holding on for dear life, trying to maintain their quality, and you can't get anything from them. But if they would sell by the individual character, why then under the terms we're stating, then it won't work. But the client can't just steal the content because there's a gateway in principle, again, this was always conjecture, this was always the plan, and this plan came long before the web. But then Berners-Lee and I have argued at length about this, because he wants everything to be free, and of course what that's resulted in is the gutting of the proletarianization of media, and a whole lot of reporters out of work and a whole lot of quality journalism going down the drain.
Isn't that a symptom of a business model not being able to adapt to the times rather than, alter the web itself? Like it's
The
not-
web itself is a business model failing to adapt to the times, yes. To elide your two clauses.
Is this intended only for static content or?
Because right now, I believe the human race is crippled by the lousy representation of sexual information. The question is, was there a single event that inspired me? No, it's just the way I think. Because I've always thought in parallel. When I was a kid, I was given a histomap, a map of history, which was columns of what was happening in every continent from 5000 BC. And other hypertextual type documents. I'd recommend a wonderful book called Paddle to the Sea. And since then I've seen things like the Interpreter's Bible, which is many different translations of the Bible side by side. So there's so many things which are implicitly parallel, but because we cannot represent them in parallel, we cannot see them in parallel or imagine there aren't the same.
Yes, right over there.